2030, the workplace as we know it may be unrecognizable, not because robots have replaced us, but because the very rules that define work, value, and competence have quietly changed. The real risk isn't that AI will take your job, it's that the criteria by which your job is judged will shift faster than you can adapt. Most people are asking the wrong question. They ask, will AI replace me? The more dangerous question is, who decides what still counts as valuable human work? Because once that decision is made, by companies, by platforms, by institutions, it reshapes careers, wages, dignity, and power. And that process has already begun. Let's start by dismantling the most common narrative. Places jobs. That framing is economically shallow and historically wrong. Research from OECD shows that tasks, not jobs, are automated. Most roles survive, but in altered form. A lawyer still exists. A doctor still exists. A designer still exists. But what they do, how they're evaluated, and how fast they're expected to perform has changed dramatically. Example, a junior consultant today may be expected to deliver in one afternoon what once took a team 2 weeks because AI has collapsed the time between thinking and producing. The job title remains. The pressure, pace, and expectations do not. This is not replacement. It's compression. Economist Darren Acemoglu warns of what he calls socio-automation, technologies that raise productivity but do not translate into shared prosperity. AI often increases output without increasing wages. Why? Because productivity gains are captured not by workers, but by platform owners, shareholders, and first movers. A 2024 study from MIT found that AI tools boosted worker output by up to 40%, but only a fraction of those gains were reflected in pay. So here's the paradox. You work faster, you produce more, you become more replaceable, not less. Because once output is standardized, human judgment becomes harder to price. For decades, careers were built on accumulated expertise. AI changes that equation. When machines can draft, summarize code, analyze, design, then execution stops being scarce. What becomes scarce is contextual judgment, ethical reasoning, decision responsibility, sense-making under uncertainty. But here's the problem. Institutions are still rewarding execution. Schools test memorization. Companies measure output volume. Platforms reward speed. So workers are trained for a world that no longer defines value correctly. This mismatch creates anxiety, not because people are useless, but because the signal for usefulness is broken. Technology is moving fast. Institutions are not. Labor law, education systems, professional certification, social safety nets. Most were designed for a 20th century economy where skills age slowly, careers were linear, productivity gains were collective. AI breaks all three assumptions. According to World Economic Forum, over 44% of workers' core skills will change by 2030. Yet reskilling systems remain fragmented, underfunded, misaligned with real labor markets. This creates a dangerous gap, technological acceleration without social adaptation. And historically, that gap is where instability grows. This is where the conversation becomes political. Not partisan, but structural, because AI doesn't decide anything on its own. Decisions are made by corporations choosing optimization metrics, governments setting regulation or avoiding it, platforms defining acceptable productivity, investors prioritizing short-term efficiency. In other words, power shapes outcomes. The future of work is not inevitable. It is negotiated, and right now, most people are not at the table. In this Future Scenarios series, we won't predict gadgets. We'll examine decisions, trade-offs, and paths still open. If you want clarity, not hype, not fear, subscribe to Artificial Insight, because the future isn't something that happens to us. It's something we quietly agree to or consciously reshape.